Hi everybody, Lori here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a clean, easy, simple, classy holiday card to share with you. I'm going to be starting with the Poinsettia cover die. This just came out in the And Everything Nice release with Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to die cut it into a panel of white cardstock. I'm just using Hammermill, and I'm going to take this off camera and run it through my die cutting machine, and then all of those petals and foliage and dots, kind of the negative space, pops out, and I'm going to die cut this again with solid color cardstock. So I'm using about 3 different shades of red and coral cardstock. These are Concord 9th. I think it's poppy, pimento, and sorbet. And you kind of have to die cut this a few times to get each of the petals different color. You could do this simpler if you want to just die cut all the petals the same color, but I liked the variation. I think it gave it a little more interest, a little more pop, a little pow. So every time I die cut a petal, I kind of pop it back into the space just to know where I'm at, getting the lay of the land, because then when I'm laying down these other ones, I'm referring to what I've done and kind of, making sure I don't die cut the same petal twice, if you know what I'm saying. So see how you have the 3 different shades? It's subtle, but it's there. And then you have these little slivers along the corners, kind of cropped off petals. And then we have the leaves, which I'm die cutting out of kind of a dark, I think it's called artichoke cardstock. I'm going to leave all the dots open. You could die cut those too with a different color, or maybe like a metallic or a shimmer or a glitter. I'm going to be filling these in with gems. So I had that in mind. And then the centers of the blooms I did with a simple little yellow, I think a buttercup yellow. That would be a fun spot to put a gem as well, or an enamel dot. Lots of different ways to embellish this. But what I love about it, it's just an easy, effortless. If you're a graphic clean lover like me, then this is right up your alley. I'm going to just leave all these pieces kind of aside, but I want them to somewhat be in their place so I remember where they go when I go to adhere everything. So I want to leave that kind of in that situation. And then I'm going to flip it over and add glue. You could definitely, pop this up with foam tape. You could back it with acetate and turn it into like a shaker. That would be gorgeous as well. But I'm keeping this very flat and simple. Gluing this down to a white A2 card base. It is a little bit smaller, so you have a little bit of a border. This would have looked really nice if I glued it down to like a buttercream card base. You'd have that little bit of neutral on neutral contrast with the border. By the way, I'm using the Positively Perfect Craft Glue Mini, my new favorite glue, and I'm gluing all the petals, all the foliage and the centers, everything down. Also using the Place and Score embellishment wand, makes it so easy to pop on the pieces. Some other fun variations to this die set would be to die cut the petals out of pattern paper or glitter paper, or die cut them out of white cardstock and add your color with ink blending, and that would give you that gradient gorgeous feel. If you check out this die on the Simon Says Stamp store, I love how they give you that little carousel of inspiration, different projects that crafters have created using this poinsettia cover, and it just gets your mojo a-flowing. This one here that I'm doing, it's very clean, flat, but bold, colorful, lots of white space. I feel like it's elegant, but still colorful and joyful. And it's fun and easy to put together. It's low stress, which is what I feel like we need this time of year, especially. Just something easy, something clean. It makes you feel like you got your life in order, even though, oh boy, you know what? This dog, he just sheds so much. Every other day, I gotta go around the whole house to pick up the hair around the perimeter, and then the rugs. The rugs collect it. So it's nice to do a clean card. Now for a sentiment, I'm using the Nostalgic Christmas. I loved that joy, and it fits perfect in that slanted opening in the poinsettia cover die. I'm just stamping it with black ink. I'm going to stamp it twice to make it nice and crisp and jet black. Love this scripty joy and how the little 2U is nestled right in there. There's a coordinating die for it, which makes my life Just a delight. And now that I've die cut this with black, I'm going to go ahead and die cut 3 more out of white cardstock, and I'm going to stack these up because dimension is life. And then I'm going to glue these together. If I forget to mention a supply, a color, everything will be listed in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. So stacking up the 3 white. The reason I stacked these up is because I wanted dimension on the Joy, but I didn't want to cut little slivers of foam tape because the J and the O and the Y, you know, it was easier just to stack up when something's intricate. So that's why I did that. And then I got the 3, top it off. Then I'm going to flip it over and then glue this. And so you'll see how this kind of slanted Joy fits perfectly in this kind of slanted area. It fills the space so proportionally. I don't know if they were thinking of this when they did it, but now for embellishment, we're going Prism Positively Dazzling Gems. These have a little holographic, but they're clear, and I'm just gonna do the mediums and the teeny small ones. I didn't even use the big size. So going around where all the holes were and just putting the gems, it's kind of like a no fail. I don't even have to think about placement. Another delight during this busy holiday season when you don't have to think about where to place your embellishments. I love it. Okay, few down here on the bottom. I just kind of filled the wells with the glue and popped these gems on. It gives it a little shimmer, a little glitz, fancy schmancy. Joy to you. I love this card. It's clean. It's joyful, right to the point, but it's got the graphic. I think it's the white space that's really doing it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.